Tax filing season is here, and to explain all the changes that are there this year, along with what forms you should be filing, we have with us today CA Nitesh Buddhadev. Welcome, Nitesh.
Thank you, Neil.
Nitesh, so if you can first explain the forms, who should be filling which form?
Right. So there are, as we are aware, there are different forms based on the assessee and the types of income we have. So let's start with the ITR one, simplest amongst all. ITR one deals into, it's for the assessee who are resident individual having total income less than 50 lakhs and having one house property. But there are many exceptions to this, Neil, which we need to look into. For example, NRI can't file this form. Then it comes to if the person has done any virtual digital asset or crypto transaction, then they can't file this form.
Or even crypto holding.
Crypto holding, yeah, any transaction or any holding, because it's even though it's less than 50 lakhs, they have to go for ITR 2. So these are the few conditions we need to look in. For example, if they have more than one house property, even though both are self-occupied, still they can't file this one. And few other conditions like this is mentioned. To cover that, it's basically the simplest amongst all. So ITR 1 is very basic. Then comes ITR 2, so which will fit into all this, which are not fulfilling for the ITR 1 part. So having more than 2 houses, or have capital gain income, and all that will, along with the salary, will fit into ITR 2. Again, this is for resident individual and HUF both. Then
so, for example, if somebody has bought and sold mutual funds, then they would be in ITR 2.
Perfect. So that will fall in ITR 2. Be it resident individual, HUF, NRI. Then comes the ITR 3, and that's mainly for the business and profession income. So these are the main things, and when it comes to ITR 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, which is mostly deal with the companies, the trust, and AOP, BOI, and all.
So just to clarify one point, if somebody is, say, selling stocks as an investor, then they are in ITR 2. Whereas if they are trading, let's say futures and options, then they are in ITR 3.
Yeah, because that trading and purchase and too much of trading and that activity falls under, it can be FNO or intraday, that falls under the business thing, and that's why they have to file ITR 3. That's the business and profession income.
So Nitesh, tell us about what changes are there this year.
So Neil, every financial year, CBDT does some changes in the overall this forms, or they ask for additional detail, or they whatever changes has done, they will put that thing in this in the different columns or different sections to ask for the additional information. So there are many changes has happened in this year ITR also, but majority will talk about that. The first one which I see is that if person is dealing in virtual digital assets, cryptos, they have to, there is a now VDA schedule. It's called VDA schedule. They have to fill all the details, the transaction detail, when they bought, sold, and everything they have to mention there. So that's the one change on the VDA parts. The other change.
So even if they have not sold anything, they are just holding crypto. Even then they have to put it in the VDA schedule.
Right. So when they bought and sold, so that will cover that. So if they are just holding, that is not mentioned in. If I have bought and sold, so they are basically capturing the transaction happened during the financial year.
Right. But to be on the safe side, even if you have not bought and sold, just holding, you should still fill that.
True.
Okay.
So apart from the VDA things, again on the, if we see on the financial asset side, or if someone is doing this trading in shares and all that thing, so till now they are disclosing all the details, all the profits and all that thing, but 2 more column has been added. The first one is that what is your total trading income, trading turnover, that they have to separately disclose, and what profit or loss from this trading income they have transferred to the P&L. That also needs to be separately disclosed. So this is what additional information I think they are asking to identify how in the total income, how much is the trading income, and they just want this as 2 separate line item.
Okay, so let's just understand this in a bit more detail. Let's say that person A has one regular business. Let's say that he's a shopkeeper. And he also does F&O trading on the side.
True.
So now you're saying instead of just giving a combined profit and loss, he has to separately report the profit from trading, separately from shopkeeping, and then finally he can below he can combine them.
Right. So total will be combined, but these are the 2 separate line items. So I need to say that this is the turnover, total turnover from my trading or FNO, and this is the profit and loss from that. So yeah, like you rightly said, there will be a separate line item for other business turnover plus this turnover. In the same way, what is the total profit which I'm showing in my income? Out of that, how much is this profit or loss?
Okay. Now let's talk about new and old regime. For salaried professionals, they can choose every year which regime they want to be under. For anybody who has business income, what is the situation?
So in case of business income, Neil, business and profession who are filing, let's say ITR 3, so they can choose only once. So in this year, what has changed for them? There is one 10IE form which they need to fill in if they are selecting. Let's say they are by default having an old regime. They are selecting new regime, so they have to fill this form that they are opting in for a new regime, and this all the details they have to keep in their record, because when they are changing in future, and that they can change only once. If I'm opting right now, let's say for a new regime in this financial in the last financial and filing it now, so I have to by filling that 10I, I got that numbers and which date I fill that form and all that thing. Now that detail I have to maintain, and this same detail I also need to disclose when I'm changing it again. So they are kind of trying to track it, that how, because I can change it once, right? So this is for the tracking mechanism. They have introduced this 10I form, which the business and profession guy, if they are opting in for any region, they have to select.
And there are two interesting aspects to this. So one is that a lot of people who don't think they're doing a business, they're doing F&O trading, they also come under this.
True.
They have to fill this form.
Right.
The second is that it's not just a checkbox like for employees. You have to proactively fill this form, opt for the new regime.
Right.
And if they want to migrate back, again, proactively fill another form to come back.
Right. And that also they can do only once, because it's part of a business and profession, like you rightly said, and people are not aware that by doing in either trading or F&O, that will, the whole ITR would be changed, ITR 2 to ITR 3, because that's not a capital gain, that's a trading income, and that should be reported and under ITR 3. And like you rightly said, they have to maintain this 10I detail, because whenever they are shifting, and they can do only once, but they have to disclose it carefully.
Right. What is the next change, Nitesh?
Apart from this two changes what we have discussed, another thing which I can see on the donation side. So till now, you need to have to disclose the donation, which institute you have given donation, the name of that and the PAN number of that, all the detail. But from this year onwards, you have to quote that donation reference number, which is not mentioned on the receipt when you actually donate during the financial year. This they have to opt from the organization they have donated, and the organization how they will get it. They have to upload all the donations transactions on the income tax portal. What is the name and the PAN number and all that, which they collect from the, let's say us, if you are donating. So they will give you at the end of the financial year, which likely to come in May and June this week or somewhere. So that they have to ask if they are not getting to that organization, because they have to quote this number. Otherwise, that donation, they can't enter without that donation amount for the claiming ATG.
Right. So just to recap for our viewers, when you donate money to an NGO, you get some exemption on it under section 80D. ATG, sorry. Now, earlier you could just get a receipt from that NGO and that would be enough. Of course, you needed the PAN of the NGO, that was always there. Now you have to get a specific number from the income tax department website, which that NGO has to give to you.
Yeah.
And only then you will get that deduct.
Yeah.
Right. Any other change, Nitesh?
Neil, these are the main three changes we have observed. Apart from that, no major changes. There are few small changes, but it's few other detail they are asking for, and that's I think this is the major changes which has happened.
Right. Thank you so much, Nitesh.